Imagine being thousands of miles from home, standing in a hotel hallway late at night, your heart racing, knowing that the decision you make in the next few minutes could change your life forever. For several players on Iran's women's national soccer team, that moment was real. Behind closed hotel doors in Australia, a quiet plan was unfolding. A plan not about winning a soccer match, but about escaping a life they felt trapped in. Because for these women, the most dangerous game they would ever play wasn't on the field, it was the fight for freedom. The stadium lights had already faded. The cheers of the crowd were gone. But inside the hotel where the Iranian women's soccer team was staying during an international tournament in Australia, tension filled the air. For days, the players had been under intense pressure. Earlier in the tournament, the world had watched as several of them stood silently during their national anthem before a match. Their lips didn't move, no singing, just silence. To many people watching, it looked like a quiet protest. But back home in Iran, that silence spoke louder than words. State media quickly reacted. Some commentators called the players traitors. Others accused them of disrespecting their country. And the women knew exactly what that could mean. Punishment, interrogation, and consequences not just for them, but possibly for their families too. Inside their hotel rooms, the players whispered about what might happen when they returned home. Fear grew with every passing hour. Then came the moment that would change everything. Late one night, several players quietly stepped into the hallway. They moved carefully, trying not to attract attention from team staff or security personnel. No loud voices, no sudden movements, just quick footsteps and nervous glances. They knew they had only minutes. If anyone discovered what they were doing, the opportunity could disappear instantly. One by one, the women slipped away. Some carried small bags, others carried nothing at all. They weren't just leaving a hotel, they were leaving their country behind. Down the stairs they went, hearts pounding, because somewhere in the building, team officials were still watching, and if they were caught, everything could fall apart. Then suddenly, panic erupted. Team staff realized several players were missing. Video later captured the chaotic moment. Handlers ran through stairwells, calling out to each other. Some rushed toward the parking garage, hoping to intercept the players before they disappeared into the city. But the door was locked, and by the time they found another route, it was too late. 5 players had already reached Australian authorities. The women had asked for asylum. Within hours, Australian Federal Police moved them to a secure location. Officials quickly began reviewing their situation and granted them humanitarian visas. For the first time in days, the players could finally breathe. But the story wasn't over yet, because not everyone made the same choice. Another player who had initially joined the group began to hesitate. The reality of the situation slowly settled in. Her family was still in Iran. If she stayed in Australia, what might happen to them? The fear became overwhelming. After speaking with teammates and officials, she made a heartbreaking decision. She would return home. Meanwhile, the rest of the Iranian team prepared to leave Australia and continue their journey back to Iran. At the airport, witnesses described a deeply emotional scene. Some players were crying as they boarded the plane. They understood that nothing would ever be the same again. Australian officials reportedly made one final attempt to explain that they could stay if they feared persecution. Using interpreters, they met privately with each player. "You don't have to go back," they told them. But for many of the athletes, the decision wasn't just about themselves. It was about the families waiting for them back home. So they stepped onto the plane, and the aircraft lifted off. For the 5 women who remained behind in Australia, the future is still uncertain. Their asylum requests could take months or even years to process. But they now live with something they didn't have before: choice, safety, and hope. Their story has spread around the world, sparking debates about freedom, courage, and the hidden struggles faced by athletes living under strict political systems. These women were not trying to start a revolution. They were soccer players, teammates, daughters, dreamers. Yet in one quiet moment, inside a hotel stairwell, they made a decision that required extraordinary bravery. They chose to risk everything for the chance to live freely. And as the world continues to watch what happens next, one thing is certain. The most powerful moments in sports are not always the goals scored on the field. Sometimes they are the silent steps taken in the dark, when someone finally decides to run for freedom.